Rachel Maddow just cited personal privilege while dropping a bomb on her own network, MSNBC, and the fallout is leaving liberal media fans a bit stunned. So what the heck is really going on there behind the chaotic scenes? Stick around for all the juicy details. Maddow stepped back from her 5-night-a-week schedule in 2022 under a new contract that gave her the flexibility to pursue other projects. However, with Trump's return to the White House, MSNBC pulled her back in to be the network's flagship anti-Trump voice. This is important because it shows that she does not need MSNBC, which allows her to be more candid about MSNBC. Enter into the story Reid, who was let go this week by the network among cutbacks due to sagging ratings, and that activated Maddow's candid voice, a voice that included the words non-white presenters and feels indefensible. Let's pick it up with Reid's on-air farewell, followed by her more vulnerable social media video, and then I'll share Maddow's criticism of MSNBC.
Thank you for holding us down. Almost 5 years. We are a toddler and we out in these streets in this world and we are not going to stop. That is tonight's
show had value and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them, or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues. And yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
And now for the moment of personal privilege by Maddow that the brass at MSNBC might not have enjoyed as much as you will. Have a listen.
I'm going to take a little point of personal privilege here just for a moment, if it is okay with you. You may have already heard about changes that have been announced at MSNBC over the last couple of days. The new president of our network made it official today. Some of our shows are moving to different time slots or expanding or going away altogether. In prime time, just so you know, I am here 5 days a week for the first 100 days of Trump's presidency, as planned. And as planned, I will go back to just Mondays after that. That is not changing. An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two, count them, two non-white hosts in primetime. Both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it. But there's just one other piece of it that you should know. From your side of the TV screen, you will mostly see changes in terms of who's in the anchor chair. And actually, everybody who's going to be in anchor chairs from here on out are great colleagues and great at what they do, and you are not going to be disappointed in who's on our air and what you're going to be seeing. But one thing you cannot necessarily see is that the people who get our shows on the air, they're really being put through the ringer. Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building, are facing being laid off. They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people, and it's inefficient, and it's unnecessary, and it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work, and so we don't generally do things that way. Maybe all of our folks, including most of the people who are getting this very show on the air right now, maybe they will all get new jobs here, and I hope they do, but in the meantime, being put in this kind of limbo, the anxiety and the discombobulation is off the charts at a time when this job already is extra stressful and difficult. It is not news for me to tell you that the press and freedom of the press are under attack in a way that is really, it's a big deal for our country. It's very visceral for us here. I know that the business of the press is not an easy thing, and I know that no job is forever. But I think I'm safe in saying for all of us anchors who you know through the TV, please know that what pains us the most is not what happens to us. It is what happens to our coworkers on whom we depend and who you don't necessarily know, but we respect and love them and depend on them. And did I mention we respect them? This is a difficult time in the news business, but it does not need to be this difficult. We welcome new voices to this place and some familiar voices to new hours. It's going to be great, honestly, and we want to grow and succeed and reach more people than ever and be resilient and stay here forever. I also believe, and I bet you believe, that the way to get there is by treating people well. Finding good people, good colleagues, doing good work with them, and then having their back. That we could do a lot better on, a lot better.
I have two thoughts and a question about what you just heard. First is my appreciation for Joy Reid. I have shared her salient thoughts and well-crafted reports several times via these videos, and I'm sure that I will again soon from wherever she lands. Second, I appreciate Rachel Maddow speaking the inconvenient truth about MSNBC while sitting in an MSNBC chair and collecting an MSNBC check. I know that she has leverage that most do not, but still, it's always refreshing to hear the unfiltered truth from our news commentators. And last is my question for you. Why do you think MSNBC's ratings are sinking, causing these layoffs? The viewers who are riveted to the election, where do they go? And why are they not riveted to the deconstruction of our democracy by Donald Trump? Please comment below with your theory, and thank you for staying riveted to this video long enough for me to say, let's continue to occupy democracy together.